The Roman Empire. Overview. The Roman Empire began in 27 BCE when Augustus became the sole ruler of Rome. Augustus and his successors tried to maintain the imagery and language of the Roman Republic to justify and preserve their personal power. Beginning with Augustus, emperors built far more monumental structures, which transformed the city of Rome. Augustus and the Empire. The Roman Republic became the Roman Empire in 27 BCE when Julius Caesar's adopted son, best known as Augustus, became the ruler of Rome. Augustus established an autocratic form of government, where he was the sole ruler and made all important decisions. Although we refer to him as Rome's first emperor, Augustus never took the title of king or emperor. Nor did his successors. They preferred to call themselves princeps, first citizen, or primus inter pares, first among peers. This choice of title maintained the appearance of limited power that had been so important under the Republic. Many of the reforms enacted by Augustus and his successors had a deep and lasting impact on the internal political and economic structures of Rome. Pax Romana, literally Roman peace, is a term often given to the period between 27 BC and 180 CE, during which Roman rule was relatively stable and war less frequent. There were conflicts, such as provincial revolts and wars along the frontier. See the map below showing the extent of Roman control. But Rome experienced nothing like the civil wars that dominated much of the 1st century BCE. The emperors and the Senate took over most elections and simply chose who they wanted for office. So there were fewer elected political offices to fight over. Augustus, who, it should be pointed out, came to power through victory in a civil war, ended a string of damaging internal conflicts. Internal stability had positive effects on foreign relations, because the political and social structures of the empire that Augustus established remained largely unchanged for several centuries. Rome was able to establish regular trade with India and China, further increasing its material wealth through more peaceful means. Imperial institutions. Augustus and his successors worked hard to maintain much of the image of the Republic while, in practice, they exercised something close to absolute power. Under the Republic, power was shared among many officeholders and limited to short terms. Augustus altered this system by taking many of the offices and their powers for himself while maintaining the idea that these were still separate offices that could, at least in theory, be transferred to someone else. For example, he was the Pontifex Maximus High Priest, and also the censor overseer of censuses for purposes of taxation, but he never got rid of the offices themselves. A major component of Augustus's new power was his control over the military. Under the Republic, the elected consuls served as military commanders during their one-year terms. This occasionally changed in practice, especially during the civil wars of the 1st century BCE. But the general idea that a military command was always temporary was important to the Romans. So, rather than claiming military power outright, Augustus took control as the stand-in governor of the most dangerous Roman provinces, where the majority of the Roman legions were stationed. This was a clever move because it gave Augustus control of the army, while at the same time making it appear that he was doing a favor to the people of Rome.